main TV channels, and such a personality is here. It's indeed a privilege for all of us. And his mission in his life is Vishnu Sahasranama, to spread, propagate Vishnu Sahasranama. Vishnu Sahasranama, that is Mahabharata. Mahabharata is called as Panchama Veda. It is called as fifth Veda. Fifth Veda, it is not just because it has more than 100,000 verses, but it has primarily two sections. One is Vishnu Sahasranama and one is Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu Sahasranama was sung by a devotee towards in praise of the Lord. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita is an instruction by the Lord to the disciples. It goes hand in hand. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. 18 chapters is called as different yogas, different types of yogas. He is here today to talk about different dimensions of yoga. Yoga is not limited to swinging your arms and legs, but much beyond that one. I will request Sri Arulamalige Parsarthi ji to expound on different dimensions of yoga. It is not confined to physical yoga, but much beyond that one. I will, without taking much of his time, I would request Dr. Arulamalige Parsarthi to take the stage for next 1.25 hours up to 20 past 9. 9:20. Thank you very much.
आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति च मनोरथाः योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयति किल शक्तिं सहस्रधाम्ना पुण्यां सहस्रचरणश्रवणत्वादं प्राणान् नमो भगवते। First of all, let me prostrate at the feet of the Lord and let me invoke the blessing of all the yogic gods. Let me invoke the blessing of the Prana Shakti or the Prana Vayu or Vayu Deva. And let me congratulate Rajendra, Mrs. Rajendra, for their very sincere efforts to put life into our life. All of us, we have life, but many times we feel we are lifeless. Putting life into life is yoga. Putting interest into life is yoga. Putting delight into life is yoga. Putting light into life is yoga. Elimination of darkness of the physic, mind and other subtle things in body, that is yoga. Putting delight and enlightenment into us within, that is yoga. Yoga, of course, most of the yoga teachers and the yogic concepts who are actually teaching that, they start off with the asana and most of the students also end up with the asana. But yoga is developing 3 times to 10 times more potential for your personality. You have tremendous power. You have tremendous power. You have extraordinary strength. You can achieve wonders. You can pluck thunders. You can actually create 10 to 100 more dimensions into your life and personality. But unfortunately, we are so much conditioned by our time, our efforts, our work, our routine. We have lost the memory of that extra capacity. We have lost that knowledge that we have 10 more dimensions into our personality. Yoga, when you come to yoga, you will understand we have something else and something extra within us. And there's something else and something extra which is within us is covered by the darkness, by the ignorance, by not having awakening, or by routine, or by overwork, something like that. It is covered. yoga uncovers this cover, which is covered. By uncovering the cover, it discovers your inner potential, inner extra capabilities. The research, Stanford research recently has stated that only between 4 to 7.5% of our potential we are realizing and utilizing for our life. 90% extra potential is there, 90% extra energy is there, 90% extra possibilities are there, 90% extra feasibilities are there. You can move the whole world, and the whole world is normal, whole world is trivial, whole world is very, very mediocre. And if you come to know that you have that extraordinary and excellent capability, then you can maneuver, exceed, succeed this 100% world possibility. Yoga, all of you are fortunate because you have come to Vasudeva Kriya Yoga of Rajendra. In fact, when the yoga university was started long time back in India by Nagendra Nagaratna, I was associated with the starting, the inception of that university. Last time when Rajendra came, both of us, we had been to that university and we had interaction with Nagendra, who is the chancellor of that Yoga University of India. You are lucky to have come to Nagendra because Rajendra has already completed 50 batches. Experience there. And much more than that, he has got the wisdom of what to tell to you, what to impart to you. It's not mere asanas. You have got this Annamaya Kosha, what is called as the body. Most of the yoga schools end up with the body beautiful and body bountiful. And most of the advertisements in the world also ends up with body beautiful and body bountiful. 90% of the sales, promotion and publicity activities in the whole world, billions and billions of dollars is spent on the publicity, sales, promotion, advertisement for body beautiful and body bountiful. Very, very few people realize that beyond the body there is something called as Manomaya Kosha, the mind, the Pranamaya Kosha, the breathing, the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intellect. The body is controlled by the mind. Mind power is a power, supreme power. But mind is controlled by prana. So the intellect, the mind, the prana, everything has to be coordinated. So a harmonious and happy blending of all these sheets, the Annamaya Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha, the Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha. The happy and the harmonious blending of all that is called as yoga. That means to say, very, very ordinary people we are, but we have to improve our resistance and immunity levels. So the yoga starts with that. Secondly, we have to increase our flexibility. A muscle flexibility, the momentum flexibility, the easy movability, the adaptability, accessibility, all that automatically enhances with the yoga. And yoga gives you a type of increased digestive firepower. Increased digestive fire. What is called as digestive fire within us? Whatever you eat is completely crushed there, processed there. Much of that will be actually given as the pushti or the strength to the body, and tyajya will be just going out. But the power to digest whatever you have eaten is a very crucial point in the health of any person for the matter, and yoga gives that extra digestive power by increasing the flame potential of the digestive fire. Digestive fire has got the flame, and the flame potential is enhanced by doing the yoga. And just 2 years, 1.5 years back, I was in Florida, and one of my friend, Mr. Balram Agarwal, who is now the chairman and chancellor of Hindu University of America, Florida, he took me to one of the sessions organized by Deepak Chopra. Now, most people know about Deepak Chopra. So for the whole day I was with Deepak Chopra, and in the interval, in the intermission, this Agarwal introduced me to Deepak Chopra, and he developed a lot of fascination. I presented my English books to him and CDs also. And then he narrated a small incident which I would like to share with all of you. He was working as a super specialty medical doctor in a Boston super specialty hospital. He was earning a lot of money also. But as a doctor, he observed very closely all the patients who were coming in. They were given a number and they are processed through, and the machines start actually diagnosing them. Machines will do analysis, machines will write the reports, machine will give the report. The whole thing is so mechanical, it is so much automated and completely electronically controlled systems. The humanness and the human touch of the doctor as well as the patient, that completely out. Just like any commodity, any article, any jada padartha, the patient was taken in and is processed through an input and processing and output. As a result, when a human being comes, the human touch is lost. So even though he was earning a lot of money and it was a super specialty, very famous hospital of Boston, super people, still he developed a type of disenchantment, the whole system working there. Then he narrated a small incident to me. About December, one month he took off from US and he came to India along with a Pakistani doctor who was a very close friend of him. Both them, they were there in Delhi talking to their close friends, and they went to Calcutta. And in Calcutta, one person told him, you have to meet a doctor here, and his name is Dr. Triguna. You have to go and meet him. Then they find out the address of Dr. Triguna and they went. It is in the smallest gully of a slum area, which was full of stinking and complete contamination and pollution. And Deepak Chopra and his Pakistani friend, they went in that gully, the small byline, and covering their nose, which was full of stinking, came near the smallest hospital that was run by that medical doctor called as Triguna. He was an Ayurvedic doctor. He was practicing yoga in the morning times, and the afternoon and in the evening he was practicing the Ayurveda. And when they came to the hospital, more than 300 patients were sitting there, and in the hand of each patient there was a token number. And there was only one compounder for the whole hospital, and Dr. Deepak Chopra and his friend went. Compounder came out and he handed over the token numbers to them also, 351, 352. Then Deepak Chopra told, we don't have time to wait. Each patient is taking 5 to 10 minutes. We don't have time. They said, this is a system here. Then Deepak Chopra called the compounder and told him they're not come for any treatment. They just want to introduce and give some gift to the doctor who is serving such a poorest of the community is serving. So they want to give a gift. Then he went and I was convinced. The doctor told, okay, only 4 minutes time I give, let them come. Then Deepak Chopra and his friend went there, and Deepak Chopra stood up from the chair to introduce himself. Then Dr. Triguna told, don't talk. Don't talk, no, don't open your mouth. He was not allowed to speak even for one word. Give your hand. The Dr. Triguna took the hand of Deepak Chopra and started examining the nadi. And he closed his eyes. Dr. Triguna closed his eyes, and for 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, he just checked the whole nadi. After 3 minutes, he started narrating the complete life picture of Dr. Deepak Chopra. From your child age till today, what you were, how you grew up, and what you are now, what is your state of health, and what is your potential state of health, and what you will end up and how you will end up. Deepak Chopra was taken aback, and he did not believe till that particular day in India there is such a system. He knew, but he did not have belief and faith. And for the first time, this doctor who is just taking 1 rupee, 2 rupee from the ordinary patients and serving them so much, and he has got some tremendous knowledge. immediately asked Dr. Triguna, where from you got this extraordinary blissful blessing of without talking and without taking any input from the patient, you are able to come out with a complete detailed description of the patient, where from you got it? Then immediately he said, it is from Dhanvantari. I got it from Dhanvantari. I am an Ayurvedic doctor. We believe in Dhanvantari. Yoga was given by Dhanvantari. Pranayama was given by Dhanvantari. Meditation was given by Dhanvantari. Ayurveda was given by Dhanvantari. We worship him as an Ayurvedic doctor. It is a small thing, but it's not a very big thing also. Nadi is something which can actually describe everything of you. What is the consequence of this particular meeting? That is a very interesting part of it. Then Deepak Chopra told me, that was the beginning, that was the triggered tremendous interest and zeal in me about the Indian Ayurvedic and yoga systems, and that was a turning point in my life. Then and there I decided and determined I am off. I cut off my links with the Boston Super Specialty Hospital, and I was able to convince this Dr. Triguna to come with me to America. Then with a terrific difficulty, he told that my life is to serve these poor people, don't drag me there. But I was able to convince him, and he agreed, and I took Triguna to America. He said, I brought Triguna to America in the industrial corridors of New York, in the political corridors of Washington, in the Hollywood corridors of Los Angeles. I was able to take Dr. Triguna, and without talking to anybody, just by having the nadi of those people, he was coming out with extraordinary information about their own past, their own present, their own potential, and their possibility future. And what is the consequence of that? Within the next 6 months, both of them were able to start wonderful and beautiful, a great Ayurvedic hospital in San Diego, California. They started up, and Triguna became the chancellor. And now the wings are spreading so fast in all the parts of America. The yoga is back. Yesterday I was telling the $200 billion industry. Yoga has become $200 billion industry. Any number of journals are there, magazines are there. Everywhere it is a meditation. A very crass and a very sector in every road, every street, every drive in America. You got yoga classes. People are realizing the significance of it. And in yoga, there are many dimensions for it. Most of the yoga schools start up with asana, end up with asana, the physical postures. But ultimately, your prana, your life, and ever your success, your achievement depends upon your ability to breathe properly, breathe in. And it's not merely breathing, it's your mental capabilities and mental potentials that matters a lot, and the mind-body equilibrium is more important. This yoga practice, that I have just gone through the detailed concept that has been developed by Rajendra. He has developed what is called as Vasudeva Kriya Yoga. It is the very harmonious blending of this body-mind equilibrium. Understanding the concepts of life is more important. That's why you were telling not merely about the asana. Physically, you must have the flexibility, adaptability, movability, mobility, and reflexes, reactions. All these things are absolutely essential. But the mental reflexes, that is most important. Alertness is most important. Attentiveness is most important. Cautiousness is most important. 24 hours ever vigilant is most important. That is the speciality of Vasudeva Kriya. Mental alertness and the mind-body equilibrium. And the mind starts responding to the body postures in this Kriya Yoga. Mind immediately starts activate. The mind is activated. In fact, most of the people in the world have forgotten that they have the mind. The body significance and the body importance and the body prominence and the body priority and the body publicity and the body McDonald's and the body Burger King and the body advertisements and the body films and the body serials. Most of the people start up with the body and end up with the body. Body beautiful and body beautiful. That is the theme of the modern world. But as a result, what happened? The next generation people open the newspapers, journals, magazine, switch on the TV. 100% it is nothing but the body connected themes. Body connected themes. As a result, what is the result? We have ignored and comfortably forgotten the existence of the mind. Always, anything you think only anything connected with the body. There is something called the mind, which is more precious, more significant, which takes the decision. Body cannot take the decision. Your future, your life, it depends upon your ability to take the decisions, your ability to select from the choices, your ability to do the alternatives, your ability to create the alternatives. These are all the mental happiness. What are the alternatives you have? What are the possibilities you have? What are the potentials you have? If you have one alternative, see if there's a problem. Many people are suffering from the depression. You know about it. Particularly in the West, many people are suffering from the depression. Why? Because they have a serious problem. They have got a severe problem. And that is the end of it. If there is a problem, there is a solution. If there is one solution, there is one alternative for it. Not one solution. If there is a solution, there is an alternative. If an alternative is available already, you can create another alternative. And you have so many alternatives. And you have to develop the mental strength and mental power of selecting the best alternative among the available alternatives. And all that is a mental activity. Why this depression? Because we don't know about it. If there is a problem, there must be a solution. So you need not be disheartened. You need not be disappointed. And the world is so huge. Why the hell that you have to lose your life? Unfortunately, many people are becoming sick, they are becoming disappointed, they are becoming frustrated, they are becoming depressed, oppressed, suppressed, and undergoing treatments, operation, everything. Absolutely, there is no reason why you have to, because yoga gradually, slowly, naturally alerts you about the existence of the mind. One of the greatest benefits of yoga is in the din and roar of the modern market system, in the din and roar of the modern market economy, when every one of us comfortably have ignored and forgotten the existence of the mind, and the whole world is oriented and concentrated and focused only towards the body activities, yoga system provides you wonderful trigger. It ignites you towards the awareness of the mind that's existing. And now you start minding your mind. You start minding your mind, you start finding your mind, and it reminds your mind. And if you mind your mind will mind you and your future. So mind your mind and your mind will remind you about your future. So if you mind your mind will mind you and your future. And where from the mental strength comes in? Now this Vasudeva Kriya Yoga, he has actually created such a fantastic concept. Mentally you have to become strong. Mentally you have to develop stamina, mental alertness, mental reflexes, mental reactions. That comes from the yoga. And what is called as built-in air conditioning system working in every person. Built-in air conditioning system working in every person. In Bhagavata and many places they give this description. Built-in air conditioning system. We are breathing through the nostrils of the nose. And in one part of the nose, whatever breathing that you take, it creates a type of heat and a hot system within. Another one, it creates a cool system within. And the balancing forces and the balancing factors automatically operates. In fact, most of us, we have forgotten that we are breathing. Most of us, we have forgotten that we are breathing. The moment the breathing stops, then you realize that prana is going out, but it is high time because you will not be there to know about it. So when we are here, you improve your breathing systems, improve breathing techniques, improve breathing controls, create more wonderful air conditioning, automatic air conditioning, so that dependence upon the artificial air conditioning is reduced. Any person who actually strengthens his breathing systems, his depends upon the artificial air conditioning is reduced, his immunity and power and strength, resistance capacity against the severe cold of Canada or Australia, against the terrific sunstrokes of Australia, the immunity systems and resistance power increases with the perfect and proper understanding the breathing techniques of the Vasudeva Kriya. Because if you make a scientific, in fact he is writing a beautiful book, possibly in another 6 months or 1 year, that book will be out. What is the specialty of the Vasudeva Kriya Yoga? The way in which he gradually tells you that the breathing, it creates a type of system where it takes care, it develops the stamina and the strength and the stability from within to withstand against the onslaughts of severe cold or severe heat from external factors. Much more than a mere thing. What you thought yesterday, you have become that today. What you are thinking today, you are going to become tomorrow. What you thought yesterday, you have become today. What you are thinking today, you are going to become tomorrow. What you thought matters a lot. Thinking matters a lot. Thinking is an intellectual exercise. Intellectual exercise is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And of the super capable accomplishments of all the world comes from this intellectual capabilities. And the money power also, the financial strength also comes from this conceptual capabilities, intellectual capabilities. The menial work, the normal work, the ordinary work, the human work, the technical work, the administrative work, the office work, and the conceptual work, and super capable works. You know the difference in the compensation and the remuneration for all these things. And this Vijnanamaya Kosha is nothing but the intellectual sheath which increases your decision-making strength, policy-making strength, conceptual powers. Conceptual power. That is what is called as clarity of thought and clarity of expression. Clarity of thought and clarity of expression. The thought current or the thought waves, that matters a lot. Your thought current, thought wave should be positive, should be creative, should be innovative, should be extraordinary, and you should not compromise with the ordinary things, trivial things in the world. Most of us, we fall prey, we are tempted to compromise with the ordinary things of the world. And many times we think we are helpless, that's why we are accepting this, or we are adapting to this. But if you mind, if you decide, if you determine, if you take a challenge, if you don't compromise with ordinary things, you will end up in accomplishing the extraordinary things. Think always big and think always higher and think always greater and think always extraordinary achievement. Don't think ordinary, don't compromise. That comes from the burning passion and the burning desire. And the burning passion and the burning desire stems from the intellectual aspirations. And that is what is called the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And the Manomaya Kosha, the Annamaya Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha, and the Vijnanamaya Kosha, all the four things, when they're harmoniously blended together, then it takes you towards what is called as the bliss, the joy, the happiness, the delight, and supreme happiness, which we call as Anandamaya Kosha. So, one of the special, in fact, the manuscript of the book written by Mr. Rajendra, with his experience of 50, he has actually sent already 50 batches. In fact, he has to do a celebration for that in a city like Melbourne, with his very simple and very humble approach, his concentration, attention, interest, and positive approach for the requirement of the aspirants who come, yogic aspirants. It's a great accomplishment, and he has already done 50 batches, and his experience has actually molded and shaped a type of concept within him, and he has given that concept as Vasudeva Kriya Yoga, which is different, and which is differently different, because from the very inception of the very great yogic university of India, I am associated with that university, and I am associated with large number of yoga institutions throughout the world also. But this one, I liked it and I loved it because of this interconnections that he has gradually introduced there, and without making a very major imposing or telling the theory about all that, in the very system of yoga that he is introducing to you, he has created these built-in practices which actually enhances your breathing potentials, air conditioning systems within the body, mental strength and mental stability, and ability to take positive decisions, right decisions at the right time, and the withstanding power, and the immunity cycle, resistance strength, and the intellectual power, that is thought waves and thought currents moving fast forward and making you to think at a higher levels always, and to think bigger, to think greater, think for greater accomplishment. You are in all of you are in Australia, and it has got a global exposure, and you have the reach and access to every part of the world. If you think great, you can reach top heights. So don't think small, don't think petty, don't think cheap, don't think mean, think great, think extraordinary, think something unimaginable. Once you start thinking means that intellectual mind cooperates with you, the breathing cooperates with you, the body cooperates with you, you've got the strength, you've got the power, you've got the opportunity, world is at your disposal. I will achieve it, provided you develop that type of power. When all these things comes, he says, when you are detached from all vulgar things, vulgar thoughts, obscene things, if you see obscene things and vulgar things, it is anti-yoga. It doesn't work. In yoga, the mind control, the self-discipline, it gives you self-confidence. Generally, you will not be able to sit like this on the floor, generally. But when you come to yoga, for 2 hours like this, you will sit without having experiencing the pain. In the beginning stages, you will experience the pain, particularly when you sit for Vajrasana. In the beginning, it causes a lot of pain. Particularly, most of the people in the Western countries who doesn't have the practice of sitting on the floor, eating on the floor, etc., to sit for 10 minutes on the floor was a tough job. But when they are inducted into the yoga systems, they learn to sit for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. Then in asanas, in Vajrasana, in Padmasana. Then afterwards, bending the body. In the beginning stages, it looks as if it is paining. Afterwards, pain becomes pleasure. And pleasure takes out pressure of the body. So they're all interconnected and interlinked. Second thing is the yoga system has got an extraordinary, tremendous faith and belief in the God. Yoga or Dhanurveda and Ayurveda are Upavedas having equal stature and status like the Vedas. You have Rigveda, you have Yajurveda, you have Samaveda, you have Atharvana Veda. Like that, the Upavedas are Ayurveda and Dhanurveda. In Ayurveda, one of the most important things is yoga, pranayama, asana, nididhyasana, all these things. The Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, that is equally important. Shravana means listening. Shravana manaka ananda vivudu, bhava janita dukkagala kalevudu, vividha bhogagala iha parangalali itu salapuvudu, bhuvana pavana venipa lakshmi ramana mangala kathiya paramotsavade. Paramotsava utsava means celebration. Paramotsava means massive celebration, extraordinary celebration. Life is a celebration. Life is a massive celebration. Life is a maxi celebration. Life is a mega celebration. What is a celebration? How from you are going? Where from you are going to get it? That is what I said. Shravana manakananda vivudu. If you listen for good things, noble things, divine things, blissful things, greater things of the life, you listen to that. Whatever you have listened to, that goes into your mind. So whatever you have listened to, that goes into your mind, and in your mind they become thoughts. Whatever you are thinking now is whatever you have listened to. Whatever you have listened to is the only input for the process of thinking. So if you listen to good things, greater things, noble things, godly things, divine things, only that thinking process takes place, and you start thinking only good things. You start thinking good things. You start thinking divine things, positive things, possible things, hopeful things, achievement things, accomplishment things. If you see vulgar things, obscene things, the worst things, the bad things, disappointed things, automatically that becomes the input and the whole thing, depression, disenchantment, disappointment, then the failures. Whatever you listen to, that becomes a thought world. What is the thought world? That you are going to think. What you are going to think, that you are going to speak. Your language is conditioned to your thoughts. Always thought waves will be pushing the talks. Thought waves will be pushing the talks. Whatever you are thinking, that you are talking. Whatever you listen to, that becomes your thought world. What is your thought world? That you are going to think. What you are going to think, that you are going to talk. What you are going to talk, that you are going to do. Because you know only that. You don't know other things. What you talk and what you think, you do that. Because you don't know other things, that is why you can't do. So what you do, that you have talked, that you have thought. So what you listen, you think. What you think, you talk. What you talk, you do. What you do, you tend to repeat it. What you tend to repeat, it becomes your habit. What becomes your habit, it becomes your character. What becomes your character, that becomes your nature. What is your nature? That is your feature and your future also. That is why Shravana Manakananda, if you listen to good things and greater things of life, even if it's just 1 hour, 2 hours in a week, still good listening to good things, godly things, you develop a faith, you develop a belief, then you will not have a type of depression attitudes. Most of the youngsters have developed a depression attitude, and they think that nobody is there in the world. And yoga is a philosophy. Yoga is basically a philosophy, then postures. The physical postures are just a small part of the yoga philosophy. And the very main purpose of his writing the new book is to bring to the yoga teachers in the world this great concept of yoga is a philosophy. And if you adopt that as a philosophy of life, then your life becomes positive, enlightened, divine, achievement oriented. We have come here not to just eat, not to spend time, not to waste the time, not to become just an ordinary element. If you have come here, become extraordinary, become something thunderous, become something unimaginable heights of the potential of the modern world. Reach to those heights, and that calls for a strong mind, a strong body, a strong willpower, determination, burning desire, and these are the hallmarks of this Vasudeva Kriya Yoga. And another important thing is, Ananda Maya Kosha, this body has come for smiling, happiness, and giving happiness to others. Ananda means happiness. Ananda, joy. Ananda, blissful joy. I have not come here to weep. I have not come here to cry. I have not come here to shed tears. I have come here to succeed. I have come here to exceed. I have come here to smile. I want the world to smile with me. This concept, I know I cannot be bogged down by any man. I have not come here for getting defeated. No force on this earth can defeat me and my desires. I cannot be bogged down like that simply. Come here to experience the joy and to experience the happiness. And if you want to be happy, if you want to experience the happiness, what is happiness then? Happiness is the byproduct of giving happiness to others. Happiness is the byproduct of giving happiness to others. Happiness is a feeling, it is not a commodity. Happiness and peace of mind, they are not commodities, they are not purchasable commodities. If peace and happiness are available in any shop, any 5-star hotel, in any cruise, the rich people, they can throw the money and purchase the happiness, purchase the peace of mind. A peace of mind and happiness are not purchasable, not tradable commodity. Then where they are available? They are available within. How they are available? Happiness is the byproduct of giving happiness to others. When you give happiness to others, and the type of giving that happiness, whatever feeling you have, whatever sentiment you have, whatever experience you have, whatever bliss you have, that is the real happiness. Happiness is the byproduct of giving happiness to others. And joy is, when you give happiness to others, the enjoyment that they are having by having that happiness which you have given, you see that that's the real joy. So giving, that is, we have come to this world bringing nothing. We have come here empty-handed. And when you go, even billionaires and billionaires, they go empty-handed. In the meanwhile, you have the car, you have the bungalow, you have the house, you have the husband, you have the wife, you have the children, you have the market, you have got money, you have got wealth, you have got everything. And who has given some invisible source, invisible force, invisible faith, the God, whatever name they give, that has entrusted you with this, all these things with the trust. God entrusted you and He entrusted you. So act as a trustee only, not as a owner. You are just a trustee. But most of us, we have become thirsty for it, forgetting we are trustees. Don't be thirsty, become a trustee, then you will enjoy. Because the yogas, Vivekananda has beautifully classified it as Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga and all that. In the Karma Yoga, do the work, don't be lazy, don't be sleepish, don't be sluggish, don't be sheepish. Work and work and work. When a child is born into this world, child has got a mouth to consume the food and all that, but child has got two hands to work. One mouth and two hands. If you consume 1 unit, you have to produce 2 units. That is the indication and the message of the birth of every child. What if you consume 1 unit, give back 2 units to this world. That is why 2 hands, 1 mouth. So you have to work and work and work. And you have to develop the work concept and work culture in such a way that work should become as natural as a game, as natural as a play. Work should not become a pressure. Work should not cause tension. Work should not cause anxiety. And if the anxiety and tension is the result of the work, then you will end up in having the physical and mental problems and diseases. Adi and Vyadhis. Karma Yoga tells you to do the work, to do the work, to do the hard work, but without any expectations. In that, there is further classifications. Sakama karma, Nishkama karma, Sakarma, Vikarma, Akarma. So many things are there. But our ancient forefathers have told us, whenever you do a job, don't expect anything. Whatever you have to get in this body, in this life, in this janma, nobody can take it away. And whatever you are not supposed to get in this body, in this janma, howsoever influential you are not going to get it. Whatever is the sankalpa of the God that you have to get in this janma, nobody can pluck it, you are going to get it. Unnecessarily, don't be tensed up. Whatever work you do it naturally, do it calmly, do it peacefully, do it positively, do it progressively. Go on giving the double the capability. Don't expect anything. Nishkama karma is the best yoga. So yoga means if somebody says, I am practicing yoga, I don't know what work I say. Real working is the result of the good practice of the yoga. That is the karma yoga. But if you just go on doing the work, it doesn't end up anything. Ultimately, you need a faith, you need a source, you need a solace, you need a consolation. And everybody needs solace. Howsoever rich you are, when you go to the bed, you need some type of soothing, healing, solace. Where from the solace comes in? It cannot come from other person because equally everybody has got problems. And if you want something from another person, whatever they have, only they can give that. If I have $100, I can give $100 to you. If I don't have $100, I cannot give $1,000 to you. So if you go to others to get something, whatever they have, they give. What is it they have? They have problems. That is why the concept of God has come in India, because if you depend completely on the people, whatever they have to give that, and they have problems, they have diseases, they have agonies, they have tension, they have objection, they have obstruction, and they are undergoing harrowing experiences. If you go to them, they will share the earth only. On the other hand, close your external eyes, open your internal eyes, go deeper within, thinking of that faith, that source, that force, that great thing which has created this world tens of thousands of years ago, which has created the time, which has created the place, which has created the continents, countries, people, children, the lakes, the mountains, the fountains, the hills, the forests, towns, cities, countries, and century after century, civilizations are coming and civilizations are going, but something is maintaining the whole thing, something is holding the whole thing, something is controlling the whole thing, something is monitoring the whole thing, something is creating the whole thing, something is devastating the whole thing, and that's something which is doing all that. We call that with the faith as the God, as the Spirit, as the source, as the force. And when it has created everyone and it is there with everyone, it has created me and it is there in me also. And having the faith in that source, that is the exploration towards that, search towards that, and moving towards that is the spiritual anveshana. We call spiritual anveshana, spiritual exploration, understanding the philosophy, and once you understand, enlightenment. So this Vasudeva Kriya Yoga, since possibly this is the 6th or 7th visit of mine to Australia, when he started off his yoga, Mr. Rajendra and his wife, I was here. And he has already completed 50 batches. I'm here. And I'm happy. Dr. Ravi and Dr. Usha, they are the medical doctors. They have come here. And many doctors have come. In the last batch, when I was here 2.5 years back, he introduced another person who was also an important doctor. All the medical doctors of the world, they have realized the significance and the importance of the yoga. Yoga gives you the focus for the day. Yoga gives you the concentration power. It enhances the concentration power. Yoga gives you a type of compassion, sympathy, kindliness, understanding, care, concern for others. These are all human touch, human dimensions of yoga. And yoga gives the most important and positive benefit of yoga, which I have understood is, first thing after learning the yoga, you get coolness, calmness. All of us, we have developed irritation over a period. We get angry easily. We get wild. And we take the shelter under the banner of Wild West. We are in the Wild West, that's why we are wild. Wherever you are, basically your temperament matters a lot. In fact, you can convert the whole West into peaceful West with your power, with your zeal. So, you be peaceful within you and with you. You will be cool and calm. The best decisions are taken not with the agitated mind, but with a cool mind. And the best life and the best future comes out of the best decisions, which are the turning points. All the great administrators and executives in the world, all the greatest industrialists in the world, all the greatest scientists and achievers in the world, they have become the greatest industrialists, greatest achievers and greatest scientists because of the cool thinking, calm thinking, peaceful thinking, which helped in taking right decisions, right decisions. Decisions are not taken by the hand. Decisions are not taken by the hair. Decisions are not taken by the nail. Decisions are not taken by the body. Decisions are taken in the mind. The best decisions comes from the best minds, and the best minds are the cool, calm, balanced, beautiful minds. So Vasudeva Kriya Yoga helps in actually developing, improving, molding, shaping that cool, calm, poised, peaceful, balanced mindset. And it reminds you that you have got the mind. Most important thing that I always insist, we forget in this terrific crowd, the mall culture, everything is body culture. Mind culture has to come, intellect culture has to come, breathing culture has to come, real culture has to come. You have to become cultured, refined. Any person who is a cultured person, his thought pattern is different. He cares for the world, he cares for the others. Cultured person. But before you care for others, care for your body, your future, your life. So these are all the benefits of yoga, but ultimately, if you submit and surrender to that particular force and source which has given everything to you, that's called Bhakti Yoga. There is something, I call it is God because I believe in the God, and God has given everything to me. I am a very humble person, ordinary person, having nothing and having no knowledge. Even today I have no knowledge. But He has made me to move from country to country, country to country. I have gone to many, many universities, topmost universities in the world. I have addressed there, and every time and every minute and every second I am experiencing and feeling the presence of God within me. It is my humble submission, I will tell you. It is not out of arrogance or the pride I am telling you, I have humble presence. Wherever I go, topmost universities, I speak to the professors, internationally acclaimed professors I speak to. But simple thing is, I believe in God, and I don't mince words also. I don't make a show off, and I unnecessarily I need to project myself wrongly. I'm a firm believer in God. I submitted to the God. I surrendered to the God. I think of God. I speak of God. And many people will ask, what is the secret of your health? You live in such a cold seasons, in terrific heat seasons, hot regions, cold regions, and you go and nothing happens to you. And I move with the people, I get along with the people, I mix with the people, I talk to the people, I take the people, I get the people, I grasp the people. My interaction with the people of different nationalities, different creed, all that is happening because I am very aware that God, that source, that force, that God is actually triggering in me all that strength and courage. So my firm belief is, if you also think of God, then you will not be an orphan. There is someone for whom you can depend upon. The most reliable, the most dependable elderly person within you is your own God. And you surrender to that God, submit to that God, think of that God, but the second thing, that itself is Bhakti Yoga. Raja Yoga is the asanas and the pranayama and the meditation and yama, niyama, whatever you are doing, Ashtanga Yoga, all that comes under the Raja Yoga. Gnana Yoga is what is the thing that is controlling the whole world? It is not a muscle power. If the moment you go out, gyms, 24-hour gyms, fitness centers everywhere. In India, I am afraid. Nowadays, the craze for fitness centers in India is so terrific. Every lane and lane, every street and every drive in India, every town, every village has started the fitness centers, physical centers, gyms. Gyms will increase the muscle power. Muscle power. But the final power of a powerful personality, it doesn't stem from muscle power only. It comes from the mental power, it comes from the breathing power, it comes from the control power within, it comes from the intellectual power, conceptual power. That is where the difference between the fitness gym and the yoga center. Yoga center provides you the happy and harmonious balance between the mind and body, mind-body balance, breathing and body balance, thought and the physical reflexes balance. Your physical reflex and the thought should have coordination and harmony. The moment you touch something, immediately the message has to pass down and the mind has to process it and it has to take decision. You have to react also on that. And this reflex reaction capability increases with the master of Kriya Yoga. With these words, I will continue the next week because I have studied Iyengar's yoga, Bikram yoga, and various other friends of mine who have written a lot of yoga books. But I was taken very much by his approach to yoga. Rajendra's approach to yoga is a godly approach, divine approach, philosophical approach, and conceptual approach. I have told one thing, who is getting more money in this world? People who are doing the physical work, manual work, muscular work, technical work, wiring work, plumbing work, then office work, administration work, driving work, then the chairman, managing director, general managers, conceptual work who are not doing any of these things. Above them, policy makers, that's all called as conceptual. this Vasudeva Kriya Yoga develops powerfully that conceptual frame of mind. With these few words, I congratulate Rajendra, his wife and Amrut for consistency, continuity, putting life into our lives. And I must congratulate every one of you for having taken the opportunity provided by him. And another thing I have to tell you, whatever little fees that you are paying and whatever money that he is earning from yoga, $1 he is not using it for personal consumption, family consumption, back home in India, for the poor people, poverty-stricken people, for the people who need the yogic treatment, he is spending all that. And most of the people who come to India are taking 1 month leave. They go for honeymoon, picnic, all India tour, Nepal tour, all that. Every time when he comes, he goes to Central Jail in Bangalore. Every day he goes to Central Jail in Bangalore. For all the prisoners who are imprisoned there as the jail mates, he teaches the yoga, he teaches the breathing practices, and gradually, slowly, indirectly, invisibly, he brings home the fact that this is the bad path, good things of life, great things of life, positive, bright things of life, divine things of life, that you have to inculcate. Many people, after going through that 1 month exercise that he gives, after coming out of the jail, never looked back towards those things. They have become converts positively. It's a great achievement. That has become possible because of his belief in yoga and practicing yoga. Both he has. So I congratulate on this occasion. Also thank my friend Arvind Joshi who is here, and my very close friend Dr. Ravi Shetty and Dr. Usha, who are very close and patrons of all my venture. On this occasion, I want to honor my friend Rajendra for all the efforts that he is taking.
Now he spoke about mind power. Now we will experiment ourselves. Please stand up.
That is great.